Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Scarlett with another episode of GenderChaat. And today we have Rafiqi with us. Hi Rafiqi, how are you doing?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Rafiqi is amazing footwear designer and they have created amazing gender neutral footwear. So you might would like to buy it. I will post their Instagram ID on the description below. Do follow them and you will find some interesting things to look at. So
That is officially launching in August. Just putting it out there.
okay, perfect. Keep an eye out there so that you can always find some amazing footwear. And I have seen their footwear wearing. Their taste in footwear is amazing. So can't. All right. So now, Rafiki, tell us about yourself. First off, let us begin with what is your gender identity and what are the pronouns that you go by with.
Well, I'm gender fluid, but I'm a straight female. And as to the preferred pronouns, I don't really mind anything. Like you call me they, my friends call me she, my parents call me whatever they want. So it's really not. It's really chill. Don't mind.
Wonderful. I'm glad that you do not take offense in me using they. And people, I'm sorry if anyone ever feels offended by me using they. It's just that I have been putting a habit of using gender neutral pronouns for people so that, I do not specify their gender. All right. Let's move on to our first question, which is tell us about your growing up experience and how did you come to feel or realize that you might be gender fluid?
Well, I think it started when I was like a kid. I think it always does. Well, as a kid, I had like a very active lifestyle. Like I was always into sports. My mother did try to like put me into frocks and all of that as a kid, but I would just like sort of rip the seams. That was not gonna work. So my father started buying these, like even now I'm wearing like loose shorts and stuff, like, and these t-shirts. And so I think, and even the hair and everything in my features, my jaw and everything is pretty sharp. So I used to look like a boy till 8th grade, like legit and a boy. And then at 8th grade, I think there's in 8th grade, something happened which made me realize, okay, I need to, look like a girl now that I'm like growing up and stuff. So there was this, I was going to a bookstore and I was wearing shorts and t-shirts and like looking like my usual self. And this man on a bicycle, he just like, yells at me like, kacha kacha. And I felt, okay, you know what, I'll ignore it because I've never felt, my friends never bullied me in school. I've never, okay, maybe once or twice, but that was light bullying, but I got over it, became friends with the person who bullied me. You don't get to hear that often. But, I have never been bullied. My parents never told me that I need to look like a girl. There was no external pressure since before that day that made me feel like, okay, I need to act a different way because I am a specific gender. I went forward, walked away, and then I turned around and then he was still screaming kacha kacha. And I was like, this is too much, dude. Then I ran back and I took his bicycle, thrashed him to the ground, and I was like, you know what, a bull. And then he just said, like, sort of went silent, and then he didn't say anything. And from that day on, I think I have applied the same strategy to anybody who tries to bully me. I'm not the one to get bullied ever. Like, that was the first and the last time I ever felt vulnerable, so to say. Then 10th, 11th, well, I think the school life was pretty chill. No, nothing bad happening. If there were like seniors who used to foul mouth, I used to just retaliate. I am like a little boy at heart who happens to like girly things. I don't know, but the underline is little. I think I'm still a child, pretty much. And so college, even NIFT was really exciting, man. Like you would expect the least amount of, comments from people in NIF. But I got comments from like the other spectrum of the kids. Like there were janitors, there were passerbys on the roads, there were these maids like leaving their houses and all that. It's in a residential place, so they would often just, the remark would always be the same. You wouldn't believe, like, or 8 to 10 times I've been asked the same question behind my back, some like shouting, some in a very different manner, ki ladka hai ya ladki. And then I would just, and most of the times I would just turn around and tell them मैं लड़की हूँ. And
Right.
most of the times I would just not bother, and just be like, हाँ मैं लड़का हूँ, देखना है. I know, it's, after a while it just became like, because some people were doing it just because they were curious. There was no ill intention involved over there. So you get that, right? Like you
Right.
can like get in the tone of the way people say things to you. So when
Correct.
it was like harmless, I would just like let it pass. If somebody is really it's in a mean way, I would just go back.
Right.
I think I've been very privileged, like in that sense. I mean, I say this over and over again. I tell, like, I really, like, feel grateful for this, like, every damn day. Because my other friends in the community, they have had to go through so much mental pressure. Because me as a girl, acting like a boy, I did not experience so much friction. But if my male friends acting like females, they were really thrashed for it, and in a very bad way. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I guess one of the main reasons for that is because we live in a patriarchal society where being feminine is somehow considered a little lesser being as compared to being masculine. So tell us about your day-to-day life. Do you feel that currently the way that you are, has that been a reason for any kind of problem in your day-to-day life, or ever been harassed or bullied because of that?
Well, yes and no. I mean, not in the day-to-day life, not in the metropolitan cities, but whenever I go to like tier 2 cities, or even, once or twice in Bombay, it happened too. Like, I'll tell you very recently, like a few months ago, I was walking home and I was wearing these shorts and t-shirts and I was wearing heels. And I was walking home, so there were two guys on a bike, and they probably thought that I was a guy who was wearing heels and walking like a girl. So this guy who was like right here, trying to like swoosh past by me, and he came right here, and this guy was like this, the guy at the back, trying to like scream something at me. But the moment that he looked at me and he saw that I'm a girl, he sort of like backed up, and I was like, interesting. I mean, they still ask me, this is the most common shit that's thrown at me, ki main ladka hu ya ladki, which is, I have learned to live with it. Like, you can't answer to everybody. So, but I think this was something very curious. But beyond that, I've never experienced any sort of harassment to an extreme level where I felt like I was being victimized, or I felt like I couldn't move, or like I froze. There has never been a moment like that in my life, thank God. But like, say I had like gay friends in NIFT, and like, like what people were commenting at their back and all that, and when I saw that, it just really made me angry. Like, the whole bias sort of made me angry. Like, it's okay if I'm wearing polo t-shirts and white shorts and like coming to school looking like a tennis player, but it's not okay if like, like a friend of mine is likes to do makeup or is wearing heels. Like, why? I was put off, and very early on, it never occurred to me. It was never put in front of me that I had to act like a girl, ever. My parents never encouraged or discouraged me to act like a certain way. It was my appearances solely what happened because of my lifestyle. The kind, I can't climb trees in skirts, man. Come on.
That is true. And you told me about off camera when we were talking about, your growing up experience. You also did mention about one of the incidents with your brother. I would like you to share it with the people.
So Naman was very little. I think he was in 8th grade, man. And me and Purvanshi, we made him put on some wedges, 5-inch wedges. And we told him to dance. And he actually volunteered. Will you believe that? And
Wow.
we made him dance on Kamli. And we recorded him. He danced. उसने सारे ढुमके वुमके सब मारे दोस्त.
Wow.
He danced like proper, trying to copy all the steps and stuff. And I thought that was so cool. But then like lately, just like a few days back when we were talking, after we talked and I asked him, Naman, अगर मैं ये सब YouTube पे upload कर दूँ तो? कहता बहन ऐसे मत करियो, please ऐसे मत करियो. And I thought that was like, ठीक है, मतलब that masculinity चली जाएगी and all that. Whatever that fuck is, man.
Just wanted to make sure that while I completely understand that he does not want to put out the video of him wearing heels and dancing, but I hope it is okay for us to talk about it, because I want people to know there's a taboo that is attached to men wearing heels. Even if they want to and if they are willing and they are good at it, they are still not okay to put it out in the public because they are scared of being harassed and bullied for that.
Men wear heels better than women wear heels. Have you seen Yanis Marshall? His choreographies? My God.
Oh my. A breathtaking. Can't even. I have to say that after seeing him dance, I am always like,
I know, me too.
I started wearing heels and started dancing on heels long before I came to know of Yanis Marshall. But because Yanis Marshall is a trained dancer and I'm not, so after seeing Yanis Marshall, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that.
Well, you were wearing wedges the day we first met. I remember these beige ones.
Yes.
You remember when we went to Kitty Sue with Saroj?
Yes, that was 5 inches that I was wearing that day.
I love that.
Yeah, I miss wearing those though. Thanks to COVID-19, we are locked down and we can't even go out.
I can't wait to go back to the city, man.
I know. Okay, so before we round this up, I would like you to, say a few words to the people who are watching this video that you would like to give out as a message.
Well, to the people who both belong to the community and don't belong to the community, I think it would be respect. Even if you don't know it, even if you're not comfortable with it, you still have to give due respect to the person who's trying to act like themselves. Because it's a hard task being themselves. Some people don't get that privilege of being themselves from the very beginning. And when they find themselves, they don't want to let go of themselves because it's a very hard journey to arrive at that situation. So don't discourage anybody. Don't let anybody, go back to what it's like taking 3 steps back whenever you discourage somebody for being themselves. And taking, person who is themselves and still taking shots about being themselves is the most bravest, it's the most courageous person ever to walk this earth. If you can be yourself, yay to you. But you just don't discourage anybody. I think this is killing. Love, love, love. Spread love, bitches.
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. And people, there's one more thing that I would like to add what Rafiqi just mentioned. There is a lot of times when people mock and say that, oh, if you don't want to get harassed, why the hell you are wearing that? You should not be wearing that. But the fact is that the person who is doing that, they know that they can be mocked by any random person and yet they choose to do it.
Exactly.
You need to know where they come from.
It's like standing up for yourself on a whole different level, like saying out and proud, yes, I am whatever you think I am.
And if nothing else, then I believe what Rafiqi said, that for what they are doing, they deserve a respect. Even if they are doing it just for the sake of it or just for fun of it, to do that is a big challenge, and to do it nicely is respectable, I feel. And as Rafiqi said,
I think keeping your opinions to yourself is the best thing that you'll ever learn today, kids. Do not put your opinion until you are asked. Please.
Exactly.
Unsolicited advice is killing us.
True. Do not give unsolicited advices. Keep it to yourself, people. All right. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to have a conversation with you, to speak to you, to know that we have straight people who can be gender fluid. How about that, people? All right, it was wonderful. And people, if you like the video and you feel there's something,
like and subscribe and share the fuck out of it, because I will stalk your ass if you don't.
Please do. You do not want to be threatened and beaten up by Rafiqi. She is very, very good at it.
All stylist.
All right, people. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.